A very good morning to my dear students. In this video today, we are going to learn English through the talented and charming Alia Bhatt, who is a national award winner actress, producer and an entrepreneur. Here in this video, she expresses her impressive journey in the Indian cinema, playing both the role of a mother to a cute daughter, Raha Kapoor, and a top-notch actress. So, without wasting much of our time, I think we must begin.
Hi, good evening. We've had such great sessions since morning, and I'm very optimistic and determined that we're going to beat this one with ours. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. You know, there aren't too many leading ladies in Indian cinema who can claim to have the kind of success that my guest here today has achieved. And at an age where most of us, if you'd recall, were barely starting out. And we'd see how she's kind of within a very short span of time grown as a superb actor, entrepreneur, and even now a producer. Before we start, could I please request you to put your hands together again for the National Award winner, Alia Bhatt.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Alia. It's your debut at the HT Leadership Summit, and we're very, very happy to have you here. And I had to put that National Award icing in the introduction because you're really fresh out of that. I believe it's your first outing after the National Award.
Yes.
I really would want to start by asking you what was going on in your mind, let's say 5 seconds before your name got announced and you went up there to get the award from the president.
Well, I have to say I was extremely enamored and just so impressed with how well organized it was, and there was so many people from so many different groups in the filmmaking industry, so technicians, actors, writers, cinematographers, sound recorders, everyone. And it was like clockwork, walking up and, everybody was clapping for everybody, and it was just so meticulous, and like I loved how well organized it was. So it was really very overwhelming in general to be there, and it's like a pinch me moment. But 5 seconds before, if I have to actually recall exactly what happened, is actually quite a lovely moment that Kriti and I shared together, because she was standing in front of me, and she looked back at me and she said, I want to give you a hug.
Yeah.
And I just hugged her, and it was just like, and we both got emotional. It was just two young girls,
Yeah.
living the dream and feeling a moment of gratitude, and with gratitude sharing it with each other.
So lovely.
And literally we both had tears in our eyes after that moment, and then we had to get out of the hug because we're like, we'll start weeping over here, which we don't want. So yeah, that was actually quite a special moment.
Lovely. And while we're talking about the National Awards, I think a lot of us also read about it, noticed it, Alia, that you chose to wear your wedding sari for the occasion. While it's also a very emotional statement, I'd like to say that it's also a big statement in sustainability. Nobody could have done it better to upcycle, recycle, whatever you may want to call it, your wedding sari. So what was there a conscious thought?
See, whenever there's a big event or a big moment coming up, the first thought is you start preparing for it. Okay, what am I going to wear? What am I going to do? And, how is it going to be? And when it was announced on social media, my mind instantly went to, okay, where is it going to be and what am I going to wear? And instinctively, I just felt like, I think I'm going to rewear my wedding sari. And it just felt very me, because that sari, was thought and ideated, done beautifully by Sabyasachi Mukherjee, but it was a lot of me, the white and gold combination and certain symbols. It was who I really feel, I wear a garment that I felt most myself in, So this was a moment that was also very special for different reasons. That was a different occasion which was extremely special, and this was a different occasion which was extremely special. So a special outfit can be worn for a special occasion.
True.
More than once. And I don't think I was doing anything that people maybe have not already been doing for many years. वो कहते हैं ना घर में कि शादी का साड़ी पहन लेंगे, या वो इसका संगीत का शादी पहन लेंगे, बेटी की शादी का साड़ी पहन लेंगे. It's just the thing that for those who may already be doing it, they look at it and say, yes, we're already doing this. It'll just encourage them, that conversation more.
Yeah.
And for those who feel that, you know, for a special occasion, I have to wear an outfit that's not been seen before. Has anyone seen this or not? I just wanted to change that a little bit around and just say, look, listen, you can wear an outfit. I've worn this outfit. The whole world has seen it.
Yeah.
Like for, you know, days after I got married. But it doesn't matter. It's because it's the person that's wearing that outfit. That's what matters the most.
Yeah, I think the statement worked out beautifully, as you're saying. I would say commoners do say that भाई की शादी में पहन लेंगे अपनी शादी का जोड़ा, and you know, all of that. But typically I don't think too many celebrities, and especially those at your stature, who've gone ahead and made that statement. So it does seem very relatable to a common person.
I think it's just us being mindful that you don't always need to buy a new outfit.
Yeah.
It's maybe the more conscious thing to do.
Yeah.
And you may not be able to do that all the time, but if you land up doing it a couple of times, it's a big statement to make for yourself.
True.
And for the planet.
So true. Well, before I go on, I'm just reminding the audiences that we'd have barely a few minutes after the session to take audience questions. So if you do want to ask her something, please, there's a chit on your table, and write something and pass it on to Rini, so that once we have time, we could look at that. So Alia, coming back to the last couple of years in your life, and that, I mean, I'm sure that there have been many milestone events that may have happened right when you debuted in the film industry 11 years ago. 23 films that you've done, and some of which have been spectacular in terms of performances.
I've done 23 films.
You've done 23 in 11 years, or that's what research tells us, unless there are films. I'm not counting your debut in Sangharsh as a child artist. Do you
I would
remember
count that because I think that's the only way it'll maybe add up to 20 plus. Anyway, the number not big. Yeah.
Perhaps. So basically what I'm saying is that last year, I think the middle of the last year, career-wise, started with Brahmastra, and then the way this year opened for you, and then, you know, with Darlings, with Gangu, with now with Rocky and Rani. This all happened at a time when Bollywood's really been going through the biggest roller coaster that Bollywood could ever imagine. This year's been good with some of the blockbuster things, but there was also a time when people were just not willing to come to theatres. And Rocky and Rani did supremely well. And similarly, Darlings, even though it was an OTT film, again got you so much of acclaim. Would you say that this has been a milestone period for you? That's one. And a related question is that when you started out as Shania in Student of the Year so many years back, to Gangu, which got you a national award, and there's been Razi, there's been Highway, there's been Urta Punjab. Have you been going up that ladder on more intensity into your roles?
I think, what you said about there was a certain nervousness post the pandemic. I think in every industry, not just the Indian film industry, to understand how the consumer, how the audience is really going to respond to the content that we've created. A lot of the films that I had worked on prior to the pandemic, and some even during, came back to back with Gangu and Darlings and Brahmastra. This all just happened like back to back. So it was a very overwhelming year, because it's a lot of effort that you put in, and into any project or business. When you put in years of effort, teamwork especially, everybody's waiting with bated breath for the final outcome. So when you pass on the final outcome, that's always like a whew, it's a bit of a relief. I'm not sure I'm someone who takes a step back and looks at my career like, oh, that's a milestone moment, or that's a milestone moment. I don't cut to a wide shot that often in film language. I like to just keep my head in the game and just move forward with each, like literally on the Friday, I let the film go to the audience, and then whatever the fate of the film, I accept it. I assess if things don't go well, I assess what didn't go well. If things go well, I have a grateful heart and I move on. It's the way I've always been, and I think that keeps me really comfortable and grounded. I don't really swim in successes or drown in failures. I like to learn, good or bad, from each experience and move on. But of course, when I meet people and they give me love for a movie, for example, Rocky Rani, I was in New York right after, and people kept coming up to me and telling me that they watched the film 3-4 times, and that's literally all you want to hear from an audience, and you just feel so happy. Speaking about my characters, what was your question?
Well, the characters that you've done, that growth and intensity is very visible. So, for instance, would you do a Shania at this point in your career?
Interesting. I don't think I can play. I don't know. Actually, never say never. I never limit myself.
Yeah.
I really go with my instinct. I definitely feel my personality, of course, as anybody's personality would, has evolved over the last 10 years. So maybe my choice of movies, the way I approach every film, the process has become more structured, but still I would say I have no structure when it comes to process. I like to just surrender to my filmmaker, and I believe every filmmaker is different from the other, so hence by default I will have a different process for every film.
True.
And I like to really just kind of give into it.
Yeah, but you spoke about the box office pressure, and forever one's been hearing that while the box office pressure for the image or the stature of it is there for actors, the biggest stress point is for producers, because there was a time when actors would take their fee and at least would have a peaceful sleep, but a producer through every stage of the film has a restless time.
Of course.
And then you consciously chose to become a producer so early on in your career. You co-produced Darling, and now you're producing Jigra. So what made you take the risk, if I may call it, to turn into a producer so early on?
Yeah, so Jigra as well, I'm co-producing with Dharma Productions.
Yeah.
I had such a lovely experience while working on Darlings as a producer. It was such a creative ride, and I learned so much. And I genuinely believe, in fact, I was recently at the Olympic Committee session, and our Prime Minister was speaking, and he said something that really stayed with me. He said there are no losers in life, they're just winners and learners. And I believe I'm a learner. At every step, I'm always learning. I don't believe I have all the answers. And of course, it's a bit of a tightrope to walk when you're learning as a producer, because, you're putting something down there, you're putting content out there. But I just felt a very deep sense of satisfaction when I was creatively involved in that journey. I consider myself a creative producer.
Sure.
So that experience felt very wholesome. It felt
Yeah.
very holistic. It was not inward. I was not just thinking about my acting, my role, how am I coming across in the film. I was thinking about the film as a whole. So I felt that, okay, now I want to put together content, not necessarily content that I'm acting in. And we are at Eternal Sunshine Productions working on various things.
Yeah.
And I also thought that it's a good opportunity, like I did with Darlings, to give support to a new talent, like I did with Jasmeet. She was trying to get a film on the floor for many years, and
Yeah.
she came to me with Darlings, and I loved it, and she's extremely bright.
Right.
So that's the endeavor with Eternal as well. We're working with a bunch of new talent, currently still in development, but even putting that together and making that see the light of day is an uphill task.
True.
Because there is so much content out there that everyone, the studios, the platforms, everybody is playing it very carefully, as they should, because you don't want to just have, n number of content pieces out there. So that itself is a learning step right now.